the other option. What? Yeah, no, that's what we should do. We should do that every time. But the way that you've done it the last few times has been better because we asked that and we all do what it should on.
Yes, and then I keep them standing for a window because then there's not as much of their back. But I'm going to do this into the
Oh, you last, okay. This is too culty. Can you just let me say this?
I don't have any. What? Yeah, we don't know that one. Stop for a sec. Can you stop just for a sec? Yeah, this is not the one we know. It's not. It's also not the one we know. You want to do Kia Shmira instead?
It's a little bit less jarring.
I don't care. Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so delighted that you could be here with us tonight as we celebrate Shabbat together. I know for some of you, this is your first time. For some of you, we get to see you here every week. But I know that whatever it is that people come to services for, there's so many different things that may have brought you here this evening. So whatever it is, I hope you find what it is you're looking for. Now, I do know that we have some visitors here from Greenville University. We're so delighted that you are here tonight. It is. It's a little crowded with some Greenville people. So glad you're here. So for our visitors and anyone else who may be visiting, in the service tonight, there will be an opportunity following the service for us to have sort of a Q&A and you to learn more. But for the service, we invite you to participate with what feels comfortable. You don't have to participate if it doesn't. We just ask you to rise when everyone else is rising, sit when everyone else is sitting, and do your best to just enjoy the service as much as you can. So we're going to start tonight with a song on page 11. So this song is at the bottom of the page. Ki eshmera Shabbat. When I keep Shabbat, God watches over me. Ki eshmera Shabbat, El yishmereni. Ki eshmera Shabbat, El yishmereni. Oti leomeyad beno veini. Oti leomeyad beno veini. Ki eshmera Shabbat, El yishmereni. Ki eshmera Shabbat, El yishmereni. Ooh, so beautiful, nicely done. So, we always start our Shabbat services with a few blessings to make sure that we are fully in this moment together. And so it is my pleasure to invite the Williams family, or whoever wants to, from the Williams and Levy family. There are treats if you participate, I'm just saying. There's juice, there's bread, it's awesome. All right, so our blessings tonight. We're going to start with our candles, which can be found on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Beautiful. All right, so if someone wants to carefully raise the glass over there, and it's just got juice in it, do not be afraid. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Pari Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. All right, boys, this is all you. You have to eat the entire thing or it doesn't count. Thank you all.
Shabbat shalom.
Nicely done. So there's this teaching in Judaism that we believe that Shabbat, that the Jewish Sabbath, is so special that it's as if angels come into our home every Friday night when we celebrate Shabbat together. And so there is a prayer, a song that is often said actually at people's dinner tables, but we do it here in services on page 28. And it welcomes these Shabbat angels into our home, making sure that this time together is a time of peace and blessing. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech ask you now to turn to page 28, and if you are able to please rise, and we will call each other to worship with the words of the Baruch Hu.
Continuing on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. We read responsively on the bottom of 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And we join in the watchword of our people, the words of the Shema on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha b'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam la'ot al yadecha, v'ayu l'totafot b'neinecha, uv'ktavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands. marching together.
So we sing the song that our ancestors sang at the shores of the sea on page 40, the words of the Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Nedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tzilot, Osei Feleh, Norah Tzilot, Osei Feleh, Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Nedar B'Kodesh. So I'll ask you now, if you will, to turn to page 46. On page 46, this is where we have our prayer that has many different names. Sometimes we call it tefillah, which means the prayer. Sometimes we call it the avot, which means our ancestors. Sometimes we call it Shemona Esrei, which means 18, because they're supposed to be 18 blessings. There's actually 19 blessings. You'll have to come another time to hear about that. But however you say this prayer, however you call it, the reason that it exists in the service is because we recognize that there comes a time during every part of any worship service that there needs to be moments that are just for you. And that maybe the words that are on the prayer, that these 19 blessings, these prayers about our ancestors, this one central prayer will speak to you. And maybe this is a time where just you want to offer the words of your heart. So whatever it is that speaks to you, whatever feels like the right prayer, I'm going to ask you, if you will, to please rise, and if you wish to join with us on these words of tefillah. Adonai sefetai tiftach, ufi ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata rav lahoshia, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umidom Melech, Melech Meimit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Please be seated. You know, every week before Shabbat, Rabbi Michael and I take some time and we talk about what the service is going to look like. Because for those of you who are here every week, you may recognize that the service is not always the same. That we always have this giant siddur, this giant prayer book to read from, but we don't read every page. Instead, we try to think, what are the prayers and what are the melodies that each of you are going to need to hear tonight? Now, I will say that sometimes we know that there are special songs and special prayers that certain people love. So whenever my friend Susie is here, I always know that we have to offer a certain prayer for peace. And that's what we're going to do now on page 60. But the truth is that this prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, this is one that really isn't just for Susie. Then in a week like this one, when we need peace so badly, when it seems like every time you turn on the TV, every time you look at your Facebook feeds or your, sorry, I'm old, I use Facebook, whatever it is that you see your social media on, that it feels like there is just so much horror out there. And so each of us, I know, just could use a little bit of peace. And so on page 60, we offer this prayer for peace, asking God to spread a little bit of shalom, a little bit of wholeness over us and all the world. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. B'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eitz uv'chosha bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. So we're going to turn now in our Sidurim, in our prayer books, all the way to page 253. And at this time, every time we come together and worship, we take a few moments to offer prayers for those who are in need of healing. So if there's someone that you're thinking of at this time, someone who is in your family or your circle of friends who could use healing prayers and who would be grateful to know that their names were shared here, I would invite you to share them at this time with us. So thinking of each of them, and so too in our community tonight. I lost my list. I lost my list, but these are people whose names I should know by heart. So, I will tell you, tonight as well, we are thinking of Drew Patchen, as we always do. We are thinking of Glenn Figgis. We are thinking of Annie, who I saw this week. We are thinking of Dr. Gail. We're thinking of Lisi. And for each of those names that we're saying to ourselves, for each of them and for Harold, for each of them and for us, on page 253, we offer these words of Misha Berach.
Bless the ones before us.
later on in our service this evening, we are going to officially welcome a new member to the Jewish people. But I have to tell you that in case you have not been here for the past few services, you will know that we have done this actually 3 times in as many weeks, because it has been an amazing time for our community. You see, to convert to Judaism is not an easy thing. To convert to Judaism is something that takes years of study and dedication to community and to learning. These are people who come to all of the things. They are here at all of the classes and all of the services, and they are so dedicated in making sure that this is their right home. And when they convert to Judaism, the truth is that it's not so much like they go to the mikveh and they have this transformation. Because when you convert to Judaism, it's not about a transformation, it's a confirmation. When you convert to Judaism, you are saying, I've actually been Jewish all along. I've been Jewish my whole life. In fact, I was standing with everyone else in the Jewish community at Mount Sinai when Moses gave the Jewish people the Torah. Going through the process is just confirmation that this is who you always were and who you were always meant to be. But because of that, it's a little bit strange that Judaism also has this custom that once you convert to Judaism, it is a minhag, it is a custom that no one is ever supposed to mention it again. That once you convert to Judaism, we all act as if you have been Jewish all along. In fact, people who convert to Judaism have a higher standard, or a higher value, I guess, as Jews, because while the rest of us, when we say our Hebrew names, I am the child of my parents, Rabbi Michael is the child of his parents, but when you convert to Judaism, your name becomes whoever you are, and you are the child of Abraham and Sarah, showing that you are directly related to the first 2 Jewish people. And it's this amazing thing because we want to say that, of course, if you convert, that you are not only as authentic of a Jew as the rest of us, you are even more authentic, and so no one is ever going to say, oh, I know that you converted. Oh, I know that person didn't grow up Jewish. And I've always thought that that was such a beautiful thing. But this week, and I think especially this year, and I will say, I'm trying very hard to not specifically look at people, but we have so many people in the community tonight who are Jews by choice, or who are on that path to becoming Jews by choice, and it's really awesome. So I'm trying not to look at you, because we're not supposed to, right? But it has made me wonder this year especially if there's something wrong with that approach. If maybe people who are choosing Judaism should go out and shout it from the rooftops, should be able to share their story and what it took to get to this place, and we should be able to share it as well. Part of what made me think about that is actually, it's a teaching from this week's Torah portion. In the Torah, we are now at this place in the book of Deuteronomy where it's very close to the end of the Torah, and the Israelites are very close to making it to the promised land. And these last few weeks of the Torah, they've been a whole lot of laws, a whole lot of rules that the people are going to have to follow once they get to the promised land. But in this week's Torah portion, there's this moment where they start realizing, oh my gosh, we're almost home. We are almost going to be at this place where we aren't going to be travelers anymore. We are actually going to be people who have a place to call our own, and we're just going to live a regular life, and we're going to have neighbors, and we're going to live houses, and we're going to be farmers. And so the Torah has this blessing that they set out, and they say that when you make it to the promised land, and you're going to plant your crops, and then it'll come to this time of year where it's harvest time, and you're going to bring your first fruits, your bikurim, you're going to bring them to the temple, and when you offer them to God, you have to say something special. You have to say this little script that acknowledges that you have been on this journey from slavery to freedom. And everyone gets the same script, and it begins with a very weird phrase. It says, "My father was a wandering Aramaean." Now, we're not going to get too deep into the Hebrew tonight because it's super complicated. But when we look at this phrase, "my father is a wandering Aramaean," let's just forget about Aramaean and what that means. But let's look at the phrase that says wandering. This idea of saying that my ancestors were wanderers. It's kind of beautiful, right? This idea that whoever our ancestors were, that like us, they were just trying to find their place. And maybe they were great adventurers, and maybe they were just trying to find the perfect place to find home, but it assumes that they had been wandering all this time until they finally got to where they needed to be. However, Hebrew is a weird thing, and that's not always how this line is translated. In fact, if that sounds familiar to you at all, it's because we say it in our Passover Seder every year. But when you say it in the Passover Seder, sometimes you don't say, my father was a wandering Aramaean. You actually say, an Aramaean was, I guess you would say, chasing after my father, was pursuing my father is a better word for it. My father was a fugitive from someone trying to pursue him. And that changes it entirely. Then it seems as if trying to find whatever our promised land would be, that there was always someone right at our heels, that we were actually chased to the place where we needed to call home. It makes us perpetually someone who is always struggling, who always feels like an enemy is at our back. And that too is a sacred story, but it changes how we present ourselves. It changes how you feel about that promised land if you feel like the reason you got there is because someone was always right there chasing you at your heels. But here's the amazing thing. We actually don't know what it really meant. We don't know why the Torah says that this is the thing we're supposed to say, because we don't really know what it means. But the thing that I love so much about it is everyone has to say the same script no matter what. And when they say it, even though it's a script for the whole people, it is always told in first person. You always say, my father was the wanderer. My father was a fugitive being chased. It always says that each of us in this big collective story, we have our own personal journey to share of how we got there. And we are required to say it out loud. So not just for our Jews by choice. For all of us, those of us who are continuing to choose Judaism every day, even on the days that it's hard. Those of us who are just trying to find our own path wherever it may lead. Maybe what the story is telling us, that we should be proud of saying whatever our journey was, whatever it took us to get from there to the people who we are meant to be today. And so that to me feels like a very good lead-in to call up my friend Grayson, who yesterday at the mikveh became a member of the Jewish people. Come on. So we're going to do something a little bit different with Grayson, because Grayson, in honor of this evening, bought this beautiful talit to wear for the first time. Do you want to talk about talit? Or want to? So in Judaism, this talit, this prayer shawl, is something that you traditionally wear. You wear it on Shabbat morning. You wear it when you pray, usually during the day. Now here's the reason that most people don't do it at night. Two reasons. One is because there's this idea that the talit should be seen. And if you were in a traditional shul and they don't necessarily have the lights on, people can see the awesomeness of the mitzvah, but here you can see it just fine. But here's the other real reason, is that usually in an evening service, the only person who actually wears the talit is the prayer leader. So I'm just saying, my friends, that this could be the beginning of something amazing, and we just want you to try it on for size, just in case that's what's next for you.
And let's say together,
Amen.
Amen.
So Grayson, yesterday we joined you at the mikveh and we asked these questions, which we will ask you again today.
Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
Yes.
Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge?
Yes.
Do you promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
Yes.
Do you commit to building a meaningful relationship with the state of Israel and its people?
Yes.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
Yes.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
Yes.
So, we already knew he was going to say yes, by the way. He seemed very anxious, but we knew it. He's already said it. So, we'll ask you now if you want to please rise. So, Grayson, we put now the Torah scroll in your arms. These are the words that have carried forward the life of our people for many generations. It is a blessing for us to be able to share it with you and to know that you have always been a part of that chain, and this now confirms it. And so we'll sing with you now the words that have been the watchword of our faith for so many years, and we'll ask you all to join with us as well in the words of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. We are so happy for you and even happier for us. Welcome to the trip. So we're going to invite everyone now to please turn to page 282 and join us in the words of the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'artzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchotenu kahem, Vegor aleinu kechol amonam, va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. On page 287.
May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love to each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol haaretz bayom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. So at this time we recall with love the name of one taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to his family in sympathy as we recall his name, Robert Murphy. And we now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the wall of honor for perpetual memorial. Milton Aronson, Sigmund Baer, Celia Bistro, Lena Carafile, Dr. Benjamin Halpern Cohen, Esther Mildred Corman, Max Cornick, Laurie Bryn Feldman, Ida Frank, Leo Charles Fuller, Larry Goldfarb, Elsa Geiger Goldman, Ida Lazarus Greenwald, Bernie Harris, Charles Hilton, Bernard Hirsch, Belle Hurwitz, Emma Katzenstein, Bella Kolodner, Julius Klein, Lena Kohlenbrenner, Rose Coppolo, Bobby Kozlow, Evelyn LeCoub, Ira Mayfield Lang, Ida Lipkowski, Ann L. Litt, Anna Marcus, Becky Marples, Albert Melman, Rachel Stix-Michael, Fanny Moore, Tessie Orchard, Babette Pearlstein, Selma K. Roos, Lorraine Rosenberg, Theodore Rosenberg, Mame Rosenblatt, Arthur Rosenfeld, Harold Rothman, Leona Sachs, Jane Monkel Salinger, Flora Scallett, Pauline Berliner Schiller, Walter Sears, Marvin Seidler, Rebecca Reese Schmuckler, Minnie Simon, Sarah Singer, Adele Levy Stadler, Nathan Wegeson, Nathan Weinstein, Walter Weinstein, Estelle Buck Wishnoff, Ida Hacker-Wolf, Rosa Wolfheim, Sadie Wolfert, and Beatrice Young. So with these names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudasha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. We say, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Please be seated. So a few important announcements and words about where to go from here. So following our service tonight, if you are with the Greenville University group, you are just going to stay put here, and in a few moments you can move up seats a little bit, but you're going to stay put here for some time with me. For those of you who want to join Rabbi Michael, he is doing how long should we say this class is?
25 minutes.
A 25-minute class for a short, 25 minutes, yes, for a short
We're gonna do it.
a short walk through the High Holiday Prayer Book. So if this is your first High Holidays, or if you're just one of those people who comes every year and you're like, what is going on? This is not my Shabbat, then this class is for you. But again, it is going to be a brief look through the prayer book. You do still have to come to the High Holidays, in case you're wondering. So, and on that note, if you do want to join us for the High Holidays, of course we would love to have you, but registration is required, and it's closing soon. You do actually have to register this year. We are really trying to make sure that we can do everything to keep our community as safe as possible, and so that means we have actual tickets. So please make sure that you register online so that we can be with you and worship on the High Holidays. So let's do that. So we are going to do one closing song. This is getting you ready for the High Holidays. And also our singers tonight, I know, but it's Amy and Nancy. You all sound so good. All of the singers, you sound wonderful. So sing loudly tonight so you are prepared for the holidays. Adon Olam on page 321. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra La'ein Nasa B'chefso Kol V'zay Melech Shemo Nikra Ba'acharei Kiflot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hove V'hu Yeh B'tzifara Adon Olam Adon Olam
Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
There's an extra question.
I don't remember. I couldn't even see it. So that wasn't my problem. My problem was I couldn't even see it. What was the extra question? Israel. You know what? We're not HRC. We can ask that question.
All right, so Greenville folks, stay in here. We'll be together.